Hello everyone, this is CJ here at The Sound. This is part 2 to the video that I just posted that I titled Obedience versus Sacrifice. Now the reason why I split this video in 2 parts because I don't want my videos to go long, and with the totality of this particular testimony, the first video would have went into over 30 minutes, and so that's the reason why there's part 2. And what you're going to see in this particular video, I'm cutting straight to the end of the totality of what God really did as he remembered our sacrificial giving when he asked us to give above and beyond that which we were used to. And then he said, trust me, because I'm going to meet you at a point of your need to where a man will not be able to do anything for you. It's going to take my intervention. It's going to take my hand to be able to bring you out of that particular situation. That is what happened with us, with Sean Jordan, and it has happened with us time and time again. So check out part 2 of this particular testimony. It will really, really bless you. This is CJ here at The Sound. Hey, we love you. Peace. So when my son realized that there was purpose in his false arrest or what he had to go through again unrighteously, he was set free of this. He was set free of the whole embarrassment, everything that came along with it. The devil totally lost that day because we were able to help a family that really had a need, that really needed a touch from God. And then remember what I said earlier in this particular teaching of this video about God meeting you at a point of your need that it will be impossible for man to be able to get you out of. But that's what happened with us. Because see, God remembered our sacrificial giving. When Sean, after he gets out of trouble, he's a little older now, and then he ODs on drugs. He was on ecstasy, I believe it's the drug. And he took the most potent one. And you're only supposed to take one, basically in one 12-hour day. He took 3 in a 12-hour span. Maybe more than that as far as time. But all of a sudden he fell. And we had to rush him to the hospital. And I remember getting a word from God. I was out here in California. See, we were still staying in Texas at this particular time. I was driving to a meeting. I was driving from Bakersfield, California, to a meeting that I was going to meet Kim at here in Pasadena. And as I was driving, I get about 15 minutes from the venue. And this is what I heard. I thought it was Satan. The voice said, your wife is going to call. And she's going to have bad news. And that news is your son was killed in an accident. So the first thing that I thought about was, wow, get thee behind me, Satan. So I started quoting scripture, Psalm 91. I started declaring and pleading the blood over my son, over my family. But it was clearly Sean that came before me in that image and with the sound of that word that came. So I go to the meeting. We do the meeting that night, very powerful meeting. I'm driving back to my hotel. I was going to check things into my hotel. Then I was going to spend the rest of the evening with a good friend of mine. And as I was driving, I was leaving Pasadena area. And in this particular area, I have AT&T for my cell service, and over there is terrible. So I don't know how people with AT&T can even use their phones over there. My phone wouldn't work over there in that area. So I'm driving. And right before I get to a section of that area where my phone would begin to work, I hear this voice again. Your wife is going to call with bad news. Your son was killed in an accident. And I rebuked it again, but the minute I was in an area where I was receiving cellular service, a text come through, and it's from my wife. It's from Sharon. And she said in the text, I'm in the emergency room with Sean. He OD'd on drugs. And I remember just being stunned. And so I called her, and she's sitting right next to him. Now he's like this. He's stiff because the drugs it's just going throughout his body, and he's paralyzed. He's paralyzed. And so I asked her, and I said, well, what's going on? And she was very calm. She told me everything. Doctor came in and told us we're just going to have to ride this out because, see, my son, he's got maybe about 5% body fat. He's a soccer player. He's in very good condition. If you have a little fat, that can soak up that junk that's in your system whenever you put it in there. But he didn't have much fat. So the doctor said, I'm concerned about some of his vital organs, but we're gonna observe him and keep a watch on him and make sure that everything is okay. But it's kind of out of our hands. He's just gonna have to ride this out. And then that's when God spoke to me, because my wife was so calm. She wasn't freaking out. I wasn't freaking out. Then God said, I told you that your wife is going to contact you. Your son was killed in an accident. If it wasn't for me, this is when God spoke to me. This is what he said. If it wasn't for me, he wouldn't make it. But I remember your sacrificial giving. It comes up to me as a memorial. And God says, now I will not allow him to die. Because man was impossible with man. It's possible with me. When I told my son that when I got home after this trip, once again he was touched by the presence and the power of God. He's got a tattoo in Hebrew. He's got a tattoo of an angel and written in Hebrew. I think I forgot exactly what it says, but written in Hebrew is praise to God for saving his life on that particular day, on that particular evening. So, anyway, that's the goodness of God. That's how God operates. When you are obedient in that which he tells you to do, he will meet you at the point of need to where it'll be impossible for you to get yourself out of. It'll be impossible for man to be able to get you out of that. God will come in and say, I remember what you did for me. I have not forgotten, and I will never forget. And it's something that will continue to come up before me as a memorial. So he just doesn't come to you one time because of that one sacrifice or that one sacrificial giving. He will continue to come because it continues to come up to him as a memorial. I really hope this blesses you. Please, if you feel led to sow into my ministry, please do so. Share this video. Share it, because I do believe that as you hear this, your faith will grow. And as you continue to obey and be obedient to the Spirit of God in everything that he asks you to do, you watch and see how he will provide for you in ways that you would never think that he will provide. This is CJ here at BTL. Look, if you want to sow into me, make your seed out to BTL Production. I will post the address and the places where you can sow at the bottom of this video. I love you.